Hi, everybody. My name is Megan. I am an adult services librarian at the Santa Clara City Library. I primarily work at the Central Park Library, but you might see me at our other branches as well. It is 6 o'clock and I'm getting started right away because I want to make sure we have lots of time for questions because this is really a program to orient you to the library and make sure that I'm giving you the tools that you would use the most. So this is going to be recorded. So if you came in late or you have a friend or who's going to miss it or you have to leave early, I will be recording this and posting it on our YouTube channel, but I'll also email it out to the Zoom participants who registered. So as we go through this program, you can see that the chat is open. So feel free to type in the chat. I will warn you that I might not be able to monitor everything in the chat while I'm presenting, but you can always talk to each other in there, maybe share some of your favorite library tips, ask each other questions, and I'll try to look at the chat a couple times. But if you have a question for me that you want me to cover in this orientation, please put it in the Q&A. That is going to be where I'm going to go through and systematically answer questions at the end. So questions, please put in the Q&A. Yeah, so this orientation, I used to call it new library user orientation, but really this is for anybody who uses our library. I hope that it will be useful to you whether you just got your card last week or whether you've been a member since the 80s or earlier, because I know there are some of you out there. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll just because I am curious how long everybody here has been a member of the Santa Clara City Library. So if you want to go ahead and just answer that poll, it is anonymous, but it's just good information for me and just kind of fun for me to see who we have here. It looks like we actually have a lot of people who have been members for more than 10 years. So that's awesome. Thank you for coming. I really hope you learned something new. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next slide. I'm gonna end this poll to get it out of your way, but thank you for participating. Okay, so this is the overview. We are going to do the introduction, that's now. Then I'm gonna talk briefly about how to use the library website and the catalog. The things I'm gonna spend the most time on are e-resources and our event calendar, because I know that's what most people have questions about, and how to use the catalog generally, like look for books, place holds. Two really important things that I want you to walk away from this program. I want you to know that libraries are cool because they are. We do a lot of cool stuff. I hope I can show you that tonight. And also, I want to emphasize that we are free. So all of our services are free. Everything that I talk about tonight is going to be free, with one exception, which I will get to shortly. So welcome to the Santa Clara City Library. We have 3 library locations and 1 bookmobile. So we have Central Park Library, which is the main one on Homestead in the park. We have Mission Branch Library, which is over by Santa Clara University. It was remodeled fairly recently, and it's really cute little community library. And we have the North Side Branch Library, which is in the northern part of Santa Clara in Rivermark Plaza. And that building's only 10 years old. So all of our facilities, I think, are really nice. We also, just very quickly, I want to specify that we are the Santa Clara City Library. And the reason I say this is because in the Bay Area, we are very lucky. We have a ton of great libraries, one of which is named the Santa Clara County Library. So we are 2 different libraries. You are more than welcome to have a card with both libraries. I recommend it. It's great. But if you're ever trying to use something on our website or look at your account and it's not working, make sure that you're on the Santa Clara City website. County is a totally different system. If you have a 233 blah, 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 blah library card number, that's going to be the county. All of our city cards start with 25119. So I just want to point that out because it actually happens a lot. But again, you're encouraged to have a card with both. I also wanted to mention our tech center actually asked me to mention that we do have a dedicated technology center in the Central Park Library. It's open whenever we're open, so you can go to them with your tech questions. Basic tech help is also available at our branches, but if you have a specific question or something that's a little more complicated, you might want to call them ahead of time just to make sure they'll be able to help you with your question. Or they can let you know if the tech center would be better suited to that. It is on the first floor of the Central Park Library. And a very exciting news, I don't know how many people knew this already, but Central Park Library is going to be open on Sundays, starting this coming Sunday. So January 26th, Central Park Library is going to go back to our pre-pandemic Sunday hours of 1 to 5 p.m. So I hope that we see you there. Our branches are open 6 days a week, and our bookmobile has its own schedule. This is the big, like, fun bus that you might see driving around Santa Clara. It has books and other materials on it. It goes to schools and the senior center and also special events. So, like, you might see it at the farmers market or city festivals, outreach events and things like that. Finally, you can borrow 99 physical items at a time with your library card. So if you have a child, you can tell them that it's less, but it is 99 for children and adult and teen cards. There are certain borrowing limits on some things, like you can't borrow 99 DVDs, but you can borrow 99 physical items. All of them can be books. And that doesn't even include ebooks or digital materials that you might check out. So it's pretty generous policy. Okay, up next, did you know? So you can return items at any city library location. Again, make sure it's city, so Northside, Mission, Central Park, or Bookmobile. If you take our books to another library or you take another library's books to us, we do try to be collaborative and we do send them the books, but that's not guaranteed. Things get lost in the mail. If they're late, you might be responsible for any late fees that library has. So, just better to double check and return city stuff to the city library. Also, I said earlier, there's one exception to the library being free. So if you do not return something, we do ask you to pay for it so that we can replace it for other people to use. However, we don't have late fees. So if you have an item that's late and you bring it back, free, wiped, no late fees. But if you don't return it at all, we do bill you for the item if you can't find it. So, just please return things to us so other people can use them. Everything else that I'm talking about today is free. I also wanted to mention that we have automatic renewals. So if you've checked out things from our library, they will actually just automatically renew 3 days before they're due for another 3 weeks. And they'll do that 4 times. So you don't really have to do anything. Just check your emails to see if things have been renewed. There are some things that don't renew, like super popular items. If there is a book that somebody else is waiting for, it's not going to renew. So if something didn't renew, there's a good reason for that. And so we'd love for you to bring it back on time so the next person in line can use it. The other thing I have here is just listing all the things we have that aren't books. So throughout this presentation, I'm probably going to say books as a filler for items. I will try to say items because we do have more than books. We have video games, we have coding kits, which are laptops that are preloaded with coding software to teach you how to code. We have passes to county and state parks. We have tools, we have hiking items. We have all kinds of things. So whenever I say books, I mean items. Know that we have a lot. Okay. All right. So if you have questions, you can call the library. I just wanted to give you a quick primer on our phone tree. So if you call Central Park Library, that's the main number at the top. If you have account questions, so you don't know your PIN, your library card isn't working, you want to check on a hold, you want to check on a due date, you can't renew an item, you don't know what you have checked out. Any account questions like that, you're going to want to talk to circulation. So press 2. For adult services or reference questions, so if you have questions about adult programs or reference questions for an adult, you would press 3, and that's actually the department that I'm in, adult services or reference. If you have questions about youth, teen, and family services programs or resources or any other question you think our youth librarians or teen librarian could help you with, you're going to want to press 4. And then if you want to talk to a branch about one of their programs or you accidentally returned, a county book to a branch or something like that, you can call the branches directly at those numbers. All right, just a really quick pro tip. If you really only need your library card number to do most things. So if you come to the library, you can log on to a public computer with your card number. You could type the card number into a self-checkout machine. You can use the card number to sign into e-resources at home. So take a picture of that card or save the number in your phone or do something so that you have the number with you. So even if you don't have the card, you can still use our resources. The other alternative is showing a photo ID, but if you have the number, you don't even have to bother going to the desk to do that. So yeah, that's just a little tip for you. Okay, and then this is going to be the bulk of the program. I'm going to switch over and we're going to go through how to navigate the library website. So we're going to talk about things like study rooms, e-resources, the calendar, how to look at your account, how to search for items, and things like that. So let me just quickly get switched over here. Give me one moment. And I'm looking at the chat. Okay, great. I'm glad that I'm louder. I'm glad you're excited about 7 days a week. So are we. I see some questions coming in the Q&A, so I'll get to those in a minute. Okay. Now you should see the library website. So this is our library website. I'm just going to start out by showing you quickly some of like the top navigation and the main buttons on the home page. So if you look here, these are the main buttons, my account. I'm going to show you how to log in later. Get a card, you're here, so you probably have a card, but in case you don't, or if you know somebody who wants to get a card, you can fill out a short application here. So when you come to the library, all you have to do is show a photo ID, or you can fill it out at the library. It's very short. Bookmobile, if you want to see their schedule, where they'll be. Locations and hours, pretty self-explanatory. Current services is a nice little page that just shows you like all of our hours. You can see we already have Sunday added. It's very exciting. Talks about placing holds, public computers, things like that I'm going to go over more in detail. And then this last one here is usually something exciting coming up. So right now it's Sunday hours. Whenever we do Comic-Con, it'll be Comic-Con. When we do our summer adventure program, it'll probably be summer adventure, but this one does rotate through. So books and more is maybe where you spend most of your time, depending on what you're using the library for. So search the catalog. We're going to go into that next because I'm going to spend a bit of time there. Search Link Plus. So this I really want to show you. This is nice if you cannot find a book in our system, or if there's a book that we have, all checked out and you want to get it faster and it's available somewhere else. Or even like sometimes we have people who want to get their textbooks from the public library, or maybe you're looking for something that's a little more academic or technical. Because we are a public library, we don't have a ton of academic and technical books. It doesn't mean we don't have any, but it's just not really the audience that we serve or the function that we serve. So what we do instead is we have this Link Plus where you can search for a bunch of different libraries in California and also a couple that are out of state. And you can borrow from other libraries. They'll send the books to your Santa Clara City Library of choice, Mission, Northside, or Central, and then you'll check them out with your Santa Clara City Library card and you'll bring them back to us as well. So it's really nice and easy. They also check out for 3 weeks, just like our books. The one thing to note is that because they're not our books, the library that you borrowed from may charge you late fees. And if you lose the book, it can be pretty hefty. So if you are going to use this option, we highly encourage it, but just please bring the book back on time. And you can always check it out again later. But Link Plus is a really good option. And when I'm showing you the catalog later, I'll show you an easy way to go to it. Book Match is like a personalized reading recommendation service that we have. So you can tell us what you like and what you don't like, and we'll send you some book ideas. And you can do this for all ages. We do have a couple book clubs. We do have a great local history collection. We have a great adult literacy program for anybody with literacy needs. Summer Adventure, that's our summer reading program. We also have a year-long reading challenge this year that I'm hosting, so I would love to have you join. You can check it out there. Digital library, lots of stuff online, research tools. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Just wanted to show you a lot of the other like fun things that we have. Sorry about that. Lending library, a lot of the non-book things we have. Languages, we do have other languages. And then before we move on too far, I want to show you these research tools. So there's 2 options for our research tools. If you know what you're looking for, the best thing to do is go to A to Z e-resources, because then you know where it's going to be. So you want the New York Times. You go to N, you find the New York Times. We have N library access or home access. So you're at home, you would click home access. It'll show you how to use it. You'll have to use your library card to log in if you're at home. If you're in the library, most of our resources will just log in automatically. And we also have video tutorials available for a lot of these. So you can click on these, and we do have short YouTube channels. Sometimes we also have written instructions. So depending on your learning style, you can learn how to use our different resources. Like, oh, you don't know how to use Overdrive Libby, video tutorial, help page. So we do have things linked here to help you. If you don't know what you're looking for, we're going to go back to services, or sorry, books and more. We're going to go back to books and more. If you're like, I don't know, I want to learn a language. I don't know what the library has for that. You can come to research by subject here, ESL, language learning, and travel. And then you'll see Mango languages. You can learn to speak a language via the web. Or maybe you're searching for a job and you don't know what specific resource would be good for you. You can come to jobs, career, and professional development, and then use any of these. And again, we have some instructions here if needed. Video tutorials, but yes, so we have things saved in two places, either alphabetical if you know what you're looking for, or subject if you don't know what you're looking for. Okay, another thing I wanted to mention is make sure that you use our links if you're trying to get library access. So for example, LinkedIn Learning is a very popular online service. If you search LinkedIn Learning and go to their page, they're going to want you to put in a credit card because it's a paid service. But part of the benefit of the public library is that we're paying for this service already for you. So you want to make sure you're using our link and then logging in with your library card to get the free service. So if you're ever trying to use a library service and it's asking you for a credit card, make sure that you're getting to it from our page and our links, and let us know if there's an issue with that, because we definitely want you to get these services for free because they are publicly available for you. Okay, so I'm just checking my notes because I have a lot that I want to cover, but I also want to make sure we have time for questions. So next up, services. We talked about getting a card already. We do have a very robust genealogy and local history society, the Santa Clara County Historical and Genealogical Society. They partner with the library and they're really great. They have volunteers who come on site. They can help you with research. We have some specific databases you can use if you're in the library. So this is worth checking out. We do have public computers. We do have public printing. The printing also costs money. I should put that in as a exception to my libraries are free. It is a nominal cost, 15 cents per page for black and white, 35 cents per page for color. But scanning is free. You can scan to your email, scan to a USB if you don't want to like make copies or print, if you just need a digital copy of something. We have our ESL resources here, which are very popular. This is our literacy program I was talking about, Read Santa Clara. Lots of stuff about helping you get citizenship, jobs, coding, and then all these other services over here. So I really don't have time to go over them all. If you have a question about one, ask in the Q&A. But otherwise, just know that we do offer a lot of things. Coming up in February and March through tax day in April, we are doing our income tax assistance program. If you're planning on using that this year, please come early. There's always plenty of space in February, and then the lines start to get really long and they're not always able to help everybody. So please come early if you can. It's a really popular program and we love that they come and do that for us. But check this first to see the eligibility and what you need to bring in all of that. Okay, oh, and study rooms. So I wanted to show you that. So services right here, book a room at the bottom right. So you can use study rooms for free at any of our libraries. Make sure you review these guidelines. It is only 1 hour. You can only have one a day, and we want you to show up within 15 minutes. Just check this out to make sure that you don't lose your room. When you go to book it, so you click like Book Central Park Library, Group Study Room. Scroll to the bottom here where the calendar is, and then you can do up to a week in advance and click on this calendar to book your room. If you come up here where it's like email or view of like, it's just gonna, oh good, it fixed it. Okay, you can ignore that. This used to be very not user-friendly, and now I'm glad that it's just view available spaces. So don't email us, it's just gonna, you're just gonna be asking us if we have a room instead of just booking one here. Use this calendar. Okay. Got to get back to, our page. Okay. Next up, we're going to talk about, kids and teens is here. So lots of special stuff for kids and teens, book lists, teen volunteering opportunities. A lot of that is here. So our youth services department offers a lot of great things. Check this out. Calendar. You can look at our event calendar here online. Online is always the best place to check our events because things do change. You can sort by kids, teens, or adults. We also have a printable event calendar, so you can pick one of these up in the library, or you can print it at home. We have youth and family on one side and adults on the other if you prefer paper. But again, make sure you check our online calendar to make sure that nothing has changed. Okay. Sorry, we're almost getting into the catalog here. I got to go faster. About us over here. So contact us is probably the most useful here. You can leave us a suggestion or comment. If there's a book, DVD, something else that we don't have that you think we should buy, you can suggest that we purchase it. If you want to present a program for the library, you can do that here. And then ask a librarian would be like general reference questions or account questions or anything else that you need to ask us that you can't find on our website. If you want to work for the library, it's here, city employment. And if you want to volunteer for us, it's here, volunteering. Okay, so now we're going to get into the catalog. Let me just check the Q&A first. If anything makes more sense to answer now, I will do that. Okay, an email address to ask questions. Yes, it's going to be at the end of the presentation on a slide if you want to write it down. But I'll also tell you it is librarians with an S, so more than one librarian. Librarians at santaclaraca.gov. And again, that will be on the last slide. Somebody asked, do our library cards expire these days? The answer is no. Library cards no longer expire. However, if you have a really old card with us and you haven't come in like years, your card might have expired before we started that. So just check with us and we can get you a new one. We're happy to do that. Somebody asked about ebook wait time. Totally depends on the ebook, but I am going to show you a little bit of that later in the catalog. Are we able to return items even while libraries are closed during the night or on Sundays? Yes, Central and North Side both have automatic returns where you can slide your book in like on a conveyor belt, and Mission has drop boxes outside the library that are locked, so you can return your books there and they'll be safe until a staff member can empty it. What types of books or things can you check out from the bookmobile? You can check out books, audiobooks, DVDs, and you can place pretty much anything on hold to pick up at the bookmobile if that's more convenient for you, and I'll show you holds in a little bit. Okay, one of these is more involved, so we'll do it at the end. Let's see. Somebody asked about multiple requests. Current holder has 12 weeks before they return it. Okay, so books check out for 3 weeks and they can be on a hold shelf for 1 week. If a book goes out through Link Plus, I think that's when it looks like a really long due date, like it might be 12 weeks. It's not actually that long. That's just to give us buffer for the book to go to that library. That person checks it out for 3 weeks and then it comes back. So the due date that it shows is actually longer than it is, but if you're seeing a due date that's really far away, that's probably what's going on. Make sure if you want an item that's checked out, place a hold on it so that that person knows to bring it back and it won't be renewed. I hope that answers your question. And okay, we are going to come back to the rest of these because they're a little bit more involved. So thank you, keep asking your questions. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the catalog, and you can get to the catalog a couple different ways. The easiest, so you could just search here, search in the catalog, I'm looking for James, and hit enter. It'll take you to our catalog. The other thing you can do is from any page on our website, go here to books and more, and then click search the catalog. And that'll just take you to our catalog homepage. So you can see here, we have like book lists here for special things that are coming up. Some of them are just fun. A lot of them have time hooks. But yeah, you can look here at all our different staff lists. If you click home here, it takes you to the catalog homepage. If you click this Santa Clara City Library logo, it takes you back to our website. So on the catalog, I'm just going to show you how to find a book. So we're going to search for a popular title so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to search for James by Percival Everett because that's really popular right now. So you'll see here, like somebody asked for an ebook wait time. So here's James. It shows you all the different, we have it as an ebook, we have it as a print book, a large print book, a downloadable audiobook, which could be Hoopla or Libby. Sometimes they're all supposed to be together. Sometimes they're not. So like if you were looking for, the print book and you didn't see it here, just scroll down and see if you find it later. But I wanted to show you this. So this looks really scary, right? 603 holds. You're like, I'm never going to get this book. But actually, We are part of a consortium on Overdrive. The app is called Libby. And so we share collections with a bunch of other libraries in Northern California, which is really nice because if they buy books that we don't have, you can still borrow it and vice versa. But some of these 38 copies are copies that Santa Clara bought that are only available to Santa Clara patrons. Or even if we share them with the consortium, I'm trying not to get too inside baseball, but if they are Santa Clara copies, Santa Clara patrons always have priority. So like we may have 10 Santa Clara copies of this book and maybe only 40 of these holds are Santa Clara people. And so it's really only if, 5 people are waiting for a copy instead of, 600 divided by 40, whatever that is. So just don't let this scare you. If you want a book, definitely place a hold on it because also that's how we know that we need to buy more because we need to see the demand. Here we go for the print book. You can click view location availability because just because it says it's available doesn't mean it's available in the library that you're at. So you'll look here and you'll see, if you see Lucky Day, or for Mission, it's called Mission Browsing. That means that you cannot place a hold on it. That means that you have to get lucky or walk in and browse the shelves. So we do have popular titles that you can't put holds on, so that maybe when you come to the library, check out the Lucky Day collection, and maybe there's a book sitting there that you've been waiting for, and then you can take it home that day. So that's just a nice way that we try to promote access. I want to show you another example of something that sometimes confuses people. So this one was working earlier. So let's see if it still is. Okay, so this is also a really popular book. And see how it says available but not holdable. So that makes it sound like you can't place a hold on it. You can. This is just if you view the location, the available copy is the Bookmobile Lucky Day copy. So remember I just said you can't place holds on Lucky Day books. That means if you want to read this book now, go find the Bookmobile and check it out today. You can't put it on hold. You can't like call and put it on hold. So that is just saying that the available copy is not holdable, but you can still place a hold on this book. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So right here, you're just going to click place hold, and then you're going to log in. And then right here, if you always use the same library, you can pick where you want to pick it up and then say enable single click holds, and then it'll just default. So you're going to pick up all your books at Mission. You're going to pick up all your books on the Bookmobile. I'm not going to do that because this is a test account, and so I don't want to set that. But here, let's say I want to pick it up at Central. I say place hold. Great, my hold's requested. Now, if I want to look at it later, I can come up here to my name at the top, say on hold, and it's going to show me my holds. Here we go. See? So it's not ready yet. It'll say ready when it is. Your holds are good for a year, so hopefully you get it within that year. Say you're going on vacation. So I'm like, well, I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to be back for 3 weeks. So I don't want this book to come in and then I miss it because we only hold it for a week, right? And then that's a week that somebody else can't be reading it. So you can always say pause hold. Pausing the hold is super nice because you don't lose your spot in line. So see how right now I'm number 12 in line on 5 copies? Well, maybe people are returning this book, and so I'm moving up. Like now I'm 11th in line. Now say I get all the way to first in line and my hold is still paused. If my hold comes up and I'm not ready for it yet, it'll just go to number 2, but I will not lose my spot. So pausing your hold is a really nice feature. And then whenever you're back from vacation and you want the book, resume hold. And now if your copy becomes available, you'll be notified. You don't want this book anymore, say cancel hold. If you don't want it anymore, please do cancel it so somebody else can get it, and done. Okay. What's next? So, I also wanted to show you our borrowing history. So I know in today's climate, we expect everything to be tracking us, right? Everything has our data, everything knows everything about us. So a lot of people will ask for a list of books they checked out from the library, which is understandable. I know why you would want that. But the library, one of our tenets is privacy. We really respect your privacy. And so we actually do not track the books you check out. We know the books that you have out now because we need to know what you need to bring back, but we don't have like a whole list of everything you've ever checked out. That's something that you have to opt into. So if that's something you're interested in, I know a lot of people are, it's here, borrowing history, but I'm going to show you how to get to it from like the beginning. If you go to your name up here in the top, and then you go to my borrowing, you can just click any of these. I'll just click checked out because that's easiest. Okay. And then click borrowing history. and then enable borrowing history. So this is still a private record for you. Only items that have been returned to the library since this feature was enabled will be listed here. So it's not going to get all the books I've checked out from the library, but from now on, it will track them. And then you can always go and turn this off and it'll delete your history. So if you want to track it, you do have to turn that on yourself. Again, just to respect your privacy. Okay, another thing I want to do, like, let's think about a topic that we might want to, I want to go to Japan travel. I did not test this one ahead of time, so hopefully it's a good example. Okay, so here's Japan travel, but see, like, I'm getting a lot of like online journal, ebook. I don't want any of that. I want a print book. I want a book I can hold in my hand. Over here on the left, you can filter your results by all sorts of things. So I'm going to filter by book. So I only want the print books. And then I'm traveling today. I don't have time to put something on hold or go to another library. So I only want things that are available at Central Park Library today. Okay. And then I can look here. Oh, this is great, but I can only read in one language. So I can go down to languages and I can say I only want English. And then maybe I'm like, oh, I don't want some 2014 book on Japan because that's going to be really outdated. So I'm going to go to publish date and I want the newest, the best 2024. Okay, that's not really a travel book. So I'm going to exit that one and maybe pick a different date like 2021. Okay, also not really travel books. So they're probably all checked out, honestly, because we're doing available now. So you could always uncheck the available now, and there's all, see, and then you could say, oh, here's a 2021 that I'm going to place a hold on. But anyway, there's all kinds of things you can do here. You could even say another one that I use a lot. Well, I've already narrowed it down so much that some have gone away, but you can say nonfiction or fiction. You can say children's or adult. Here, audience, adults or teens. If there's children's books, they'll be there. So anyway, this is really helpful and this can help you narrow stuff down a lot. All right, I need to go faster because it's already 6:30 and I want to answer your questions. So I think right now, oh, really quick, last thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back to our homepage. If you just want to get into your account right away, just click my account here. And then I'm already logged in, so it takes me directly to this, but otherwise it would take me to the login screen. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my slides. So excuse me while I switch windows. All right. So libraries are cool, like I said. Here are some cool things that we do besides items that you can check out. So we have a seed library. This is starting at the branches now. We've had one at Central Park Library for a while. But basically, if you are a gardener, you can bring in seeds for other people to take home, and then you can take other people's seeds home and try to grow them. This is free, and you don't have to check anything out. You just take what you need. We also have Lucky Day, which I talked about a little bit already. See if it's your lucky day. You can't place holds, but it's a way to give more access to popular items. We also have, in addition to books that are Lucky Day, we do have county and state parks passes that are Lucky Day. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but parks passes and hiking items. We do have passes that can be used at California state parks. Most of them, we do have lists to show you which ones, and then most county parks, two separate passes, county and state. But we do have lucky days of both of those. So say there's a really long waiting list, but you want to go check out a park this weekend, come to the library or check the catalog, see if we have one available you can pick up today. We already talked about our free events. Discover and Go is a way to go to like museums and other local attractions for free. I wanted to mention this one specifically because you do have to live in the city of Santa Clara to use this resource with your City of Santa Clara card. So most of our resources, we don't care where you live. You can, if you have our card, you can use our stuff. But Discover and Go requires that you live in the city where your card is. So say you live in San Jose. We love that you have a Santa Clara City Library card, and we love that you use our library. But if you want to use Discover and Go, just go get a San Jose Public Library card. And again, you can collect cards. You can have more than one. And use your San Jose card to use Discover and Go. If you live in the city of Santa Clara, use your Santa Clara card. If it's not working, that's probably why, if you're not able to log in. We also have other hiking items. We have like backpacks and hiking poles. So go ahead and check that out on our catalog. We have a tool library. So we partner with Silicon Valley Power for energy efficient tools. So maybe instead of buying something that you're going to use once a year, you could check it out from us. And honestly, we have a ton more. That's just what I know. That's just what I want to talk about right here. I also want to launch a poll really fast, and I moved ahead too fast. But I just want to know what things that I've talked about that you already know about. So I'm going to launch this poll. Go ahead and you should be able to click all that apply. Tell me what things you already knew about. So if you learned about them in this session, please don't mark them. But if you already knew about these, just go ahead and check them because I'm curious. And then also I want to know what's your favorite thing about the library that other people might not know. So I've shared a lot of things about the library, but you're all library users and you might have your own favorite tip or trick. You might have your favorite library secret, but we don't want it to be a secret anymore. Okay, we want people to use the library. We want people to maximize their card, use it to the fullest. So go ahead and share in the chat what some of your favorite library tips and tricks are, or secrets that aren't going to be secret anymore. And then while you're doing that and answering the poll, I'm just going to review the chat to see if I missed any questions. Okay, and I think that's it. Yes, so any questions, put in the Q&A box. This is that email I told you about earlier, librarians, more than one librarian, at santaclaraca.gov. Also in that contact us I showed you earlier with the Ask a Librarian, it's the same email, but you can just email us directly if you don't want to use the form. And now we're going to go through more of the Q&A.